On After 8, Kids and Guns, Part 2. Because guns are so available in this country, 10 American kids are shot and killed every day in a homicide, a suicide, or an accident. Florida has had more than its share lately. NBC News correspondent Noah Nelson reports on 5 cases of accidental shootings of children in Florida in just this month.
In Tampa, a father learns that his 4-year-old son has accidentally shot himself in the chest with a family gun. The boy is taken to the hospital in critical condition.
2118 and 2117, slow down, 23.
In Orlando, a boy accidentally shoots his 10-year-old friend. He got the gun from his father's briefcase. In 1 week this month in Florida, there have been 5 accidental shootings involving children. 2 were fatal.
She's dead? Yes, please get my mom and dad. Oh, my God.
A desperate call to 911 from a 10-year-old boy who shot his younger sister. In every one of the Florida shooting cases, a family handgun was involved. Florida has some of the most relaxed gun laws in the nation. The rash of accidents has revived interest in a gun safety bill stuck in the Florida legislature. If passed, it would make safety the responsibility of gun owners.
We're going to provide a deterrence to parents in every home in Florida that has a gun present to take the necessary steps to secure that weapon so a child cannot get to it.
The bill would require gun owners to use a device called a trigger lock to keep guns from firing accidentally or to lock guns away. The owner of a gun involved in an accident could face jail time. Children shooting children will be a major topic in a special session of the legislature. And Florida, where it is so easy to buy guns, could soon have some of the toughest laws on how and where to store them. For today, Noah Nelson, NBC News, Miami.
Congress has held hearings this week to talk about the volatile combination of kids and guns. Dr. Garen Wintermute of the University of California School of Medicine joins us this morning from the studios of KCRA TV in Sacramento. And Marion Hammer, a member of the Board of Directors of the National Rifle Association, joins us from Tallahassee. Thank you both for being with us.
Good morning.
Every one of those Florida incidents involved a family handgun, Ms. Hammer. If a gun in the house is more likely to kill a family member than an intruder, why own a handgun?
Well, that's an erroneous assumption. What we need to do to stop these needless tragedies is educate our children not to touch guns that they find carelessly left lying around.
What was my erroneous assumption?
Your erroneous assumption is that a firearm is more likely to injure a family member than to be used for defense. And that simply isn't true. Studies have shown that over 650,000 people each year in this country use a handgun to defend themselves or their property. So, you know, that's an erroneous assumption. It's an emotional argument, and it avoids talking about preventative measures. The National Rifle Association has developed an outstanding no-go-tell concept safety program for children.
Doctor,
if you teach children to be safe, then perhaps when parents are negligent, kids still have a chance.
Dr.
And
Wintermute,
that's what we need to do.
Are you aware of studies that dispute the assumption that I quoted, that a gun is more likely to kill a family member than an intruder?
Sure. What Ms. Hammer is saying is simply not true, and she knows better. There's, in fact, good evidence from a large study in Seattle, a major American city, which proved beyond doubt that a firearm kept in the home is precisely 18 times more likely to kill a family member than it is a stranger.
The reason many children are shot or shoot other children or other people is evidently 40% of the time because the shooter wasn't aware that the gun was loaded. Dr. Wintermute, wouldn't the trigger lock device address that particular problem?
We need to take a step back, Jane. There's a widespread myth in this country which is fed by wishful thinking on the part of many and highly organized propaganda on the part of a few, that myth being that it's a good idea to keep a loaded gun around your home for protection. That's simply not the case, and I've given you one example. There are others showing that firearms kept around the home are far more likely to kill family members than they are strangers or, if you will, bad guys. The irony to this is that these guns are brought into the home for protection. That's the leading reason for acquiring a firearm in the first place. That means that they are stored, loaded, and easily accessible, as our research and other studies have shown. That ease of access to a loaded firearm in the home is a leading contributing factor not only for accidental shootings of children, but for suicides and homicides, which constitute 95% of gun deaths in this country.
When are we going to quit
the difficulty
arguing
is
studies?
that if we keep a loaded gun around the home for protection, that means we're going to want it easily available at 3 in the morning when we're half asleep and there's a stranger's footsteps in the hallway.
Do you agree that Ms. Hammer, that parents, or whoever owns a gun, but parents should go to jail if the gun they own is misused by a child?
Parents are responsible for their own negligence that results in accidents among their children. And whether or not they go to jail is the decision that should be made by local law enforcement authorities. Now, it has been suggested in this program...
I'm getting a countdown here that says I'm going to have to adjourn this discussion until a later date, and I'm sure we'll see you all again. This is Today on NBC.
From the land that gave us poetry, paparazzi, pasta, Roman noses, and masterpieces, Puccini, gelati, a new sense of design, a new race of cars. From the land where man was born comes Tuscany, the fragrance for men, created in Italy for Aramis. Right now, buy this sleek new granite watch together with Tuscany cologne. Now at the A&S nearest you.
Looks like a BMW 735. Must be at least $500 a month. More room than the Acura Legend. I'd say $450.
Feels like you're in one of those expensive sports cars.
Fuel-injected overhead cam V6, we're talking major money.
The $269 a month, 160 horsepower Nissan Maxima. The four-door sports car. Lease one at your nearest Nissan dealer now.
ShopRite seafood, so tasty, icy fresh right from the pier.
Look in your Sunday paper for ShopRite's color ad and get a price break on fresh sea scallops, just $4.99 a pound. Clip the super coupon and a 4-pound bucket is just $14.96. That's $3.74 a pound. You'll save $5.
We save you money. ShopRite does it right.
The phone rings and boom, I'm off to cover a story. There's no time to keep track of all my banking. So if you're a bank, do something different for me, huh? How about a checking account that links everything together? My checking, savings, CDs. And give me some extras, like maybe free checking, a discount on loan rates, and lose that annual fee on my credit card. You guys already make enough on the interest. Come on. You want me to like you? Give me something like that. You're a bank. You can do it.
Father's Day. It's a day to remember the first man in our lives. Unfortunately, for too many children, divorce has forced Dad to become a part-time parent. But that doesn't have to mean there are few memories. As a child of divorce, Bebe Campbell writes about her special relationship with her dad in the new book called Sweet Summer that is getting some rave reviews. That must please you. Good morning.
Thank you very much.
Let's do the bottom line first. Message of Sweet Summer is?
The message of Sweet Summer is that, number one, children need their fathers. And particularly daughters. In this society, we're very geared up to step in with assistance when a father leaves a son. We have the boys' club, we have big brothers. But there's not enough attention paid to how much little girls need nurturance from their fathers, how much they need to hear, oh, you're pretty, oh, you're nice. It sort of shapes them for the relationships that they're going to have in the future with men. And if it's lacking, there's often problems.
You lived... Following your parents' divorce, you lived in Philadelphia with your mom, your grandmother, and a cousin.
Sometimes an aunt and a cousin.
And sometimes an aunt and
right.
a cousin.
Right.
Your dad lived in North Carolina.
That's right.
Right?
Right.
How far apart were those situations, were the living circumstances for you?
Well, in the 50s, we're talking about a 9-hour drive. This is before the Chesapeake Bay Bridge was built, and we're talking about some country roads sometime over that drive. So it was, and my father was a paraplegic, who had some some problems because of his paralyzation. So it was a difficult, long drive for him, but he made it every summer to take me back to North Carolina to spend the summer with him, which is sweet summer. Mm-hmm. Sweet because he was more easygoing than my mother, my grandmother, and aunts who were, you know, making sure the hair was combed and the legs were lotioned. He was more just come on and be with Daddy. So
was that a byproduct of sex, or was it a byproduct of a rural versus urban environment? Was it a byproduct of North versus South?
I think it was all of that. I think daddies and little girls have a special relationship, and which is why it's so important, you know, that daughters have that from their fathers, because it is, I think, a gentler relationship at its best, and it does shape the daughter for relationships with men later. What my father gave me that my mother and grandmother couldn't was the expectation that I would be loved and treated well by a man.
Would it be fair to say you were closer to your dad?
No, no. I was close to both of my parents, and I'm grateful for that because I needed what they gave me, what both of them gave me. That balanced me.
You're divorced, though you've remarried.
I've remarried.
You have a daughter by your first husband.
That's right.
What's her relationship with her dad? Close
and loving. And I think one of the key reasons is because there isn't hostility between us. And that was very key in my relationship with my father. My mother wanted me to be part of my father's life. And so if they had any hostility, I never knew it. And I think it's very important that today people be willing to try to overcome that hostility and let fathers have a role in their children's life. And, you know, in this society, we say, particularly to the divorced father, don't show up without the check. And the check is important. I'm not going to minimize that. But I think sometimes, even without the check, if that guy can be positive in his children's lives, then it's worthwhile to consider ways to let that man have a relationship with his children.
Your dad recently passed away. Did you write it for him?
Well, it's been 12 years, but I wrote it, I think, almost as a way for me to finish my grieving process.
Is it over?
Not completely.
Bebe Moore Campbell. The book is Sweet Summer, subtitled Growing Up With and Without My Dad. Take care of yourself.
Thank you.
We're going to come back in just a moment. There's more ahead right after this.
On a special Father's Day tribute, Learning the Ropes, Floyd Patterson and his adopted son.
Also cherish memories of dads who fell in Vietnam on Sunday today.
$2.99. The one low price at Siemens Furniture this Friday and Saturday. Just $299 buys any of these extraordinary furniture values. Just $2.99. $2.99 for this 5-piece dinette. Just $2.99. Get this day bed, this teen bedroom set, both for just $2.99. $2.99 for a beautiful entertainment center. This sofa, yours for only $2.99. $2.99, the one low price this Friday and Saturday at Siemens.
This week, catch Ashford and Simpson and Sinbad on It's Showtime at the Apollo.
Good morning. From WNBC TV, this is News 4 New York.
It is a foggy Friday, June 16th at 8:25. I'm Jane Hansen. Right now, 62 degrees in Midtown. In the news, police are searching for a rapist this morning who brutally murdered a pregnant mother of 3. 28-year-old Lourdes Gonzalez Serrano was stabbed to death after her 6-year-old son let a stranger into their Upper East Side apartment. The man gained entrance to the building through a rear stairwell. Police say the man may have threatened the 3 children, but their mother pushed them into another bedroom while she was stabbed in the stomach. Police also say this man may be responsible for a sex attack and stabbing that took place on Sunday just 20 blocks away. The female jogger raped, beaten, and left for dead in Central Park is beginning her 2nd week of rehabilitation in Connecticut, and doctors there say she's responding well. Gaylord Hospital is renowned for giving hope to those who were thought hopeless. The jogger's doctors say she's settled into a demanding schedule of therapy like other patients you see here at Gaylord. Her walking has improved considerably. She can eat by herself and is exceedingly motivated.
I mean, I think almost anything that, we ask her to do, no matter how difficult it is, she'll certainly try.
Doctors expect the woman to be at Gaylord 3 to 4 months, and they warn one of the biggest obstacles to her recovery may be the enormous attention her case is receiving. The hospital says outside intrusion could be detrimental, and so Gaylord will no longer provide updates on the woman's progress. A group of developers in New Jersey is hoping to build a minor league baseball stadium near the Great Adventure Amusement Park in Jackson Township. The plan calls for a AAA Major League affiliation that would begin play in 1990. Well, coming up in a minute, we're going to check out that weekend forecast. Stay with us.
News 4 New York is sponsored by Fortune Off.
It's our biggest summer white sale.
Fortune Off.
Save up to 50% and more. A reversible comforter is now $19.99. One set of sheet sets, $9.99. Royal velvet bath towels with monogram, $13.99. Martex cotton blankets, $8.99. Vinyl mini blind, $7.99. 52-inch fan with free light kit, $59.99. At Fortune Off, Westbury and Wayne.